What is up, you guys? We need to talk about what is currently going on in the Middle East and how it's going to affect the stock market on Monday, our thoughts and more. So let's dive in, guys. So we have some tragic news here. Two U.S. service members killed in Jordan. Iran, targeted a military base in Jordan. And unfortunately, sadly, we lost two of our soldiers, and we are also missing one. All right, guys, so let's get into this article here, and then we'll also jump over to Gemini and read what we posted or what we prompted over there. So let's dive in, guys. So we have the U.S. military saying on Saturday that two American service members in Jordan were killed in action in Jordan on Friday at U.S. Central Command, and partner forces defended against Iranian ballistic missile and drone attacks. Another service member is missing in action, according to CENTCOM. We have President Trump ordering military forces to launch new airstrikes, guys. New airstrikes. So this war, it's not gonna be done anytime soon. We saw the market shaky on Friday, nervous about this whole thing going on. We obviously had Iran fracture the agreement that we had, the understanding that we had, and we've been just bombing them ever since they attacked some ships in the Strait of Hormuz last week. So we have been bombing their key infrastructure, guys. We've been bombing bridges. We've been bombing key surveillance systems. We've been bombing a lot of stuff that will make them very weak. And now they launched this attack today on the Jordan military base. So now, after this, we have Donald Trump ordering military forces to launch new airstrikes starting 6 p.m. Eastern in order to degrade Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz and punish the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps forces who launched attacks against American service members in Jordan last night, according to CENTCOM. So, word of the fatalities come as Iran Deputy Foreign Minister Kazem, I'm not going to pronounce that name, probably going to butcher it, said the country has suspended its commitments to the memorandum, that's what it's called, I think it's the Memorandum of Understanding, there it is, signed last month with the U.S. after American forces concluded a 7th straight night of strikes against the country. So, guys, these people cannot be trusted, even if they sign something like this, guys. They're terrorists. They're a terrorist organization. I fully believe that they do not care, and they will do anything possible to screw with the United States. And I think that is currently what is happening. So, here's quote unquote, the United States has violated and suspended all of its commitments under the Islamic Memorandum of Understanding, he said, but they just did it last week, so I don't know why they're coming out and saying this. We have also suspended our commitments. We are not implementing them and are busy defending our country. That's bullshit. When asked about Iran saying it is no longer abiding by the interim peace agreement, Trump told a news reporter, "I couldn't care less." So we have tensions arising, guys. It's not getting better. And, we could see the market really come down on Monday. We will most likely see oil spike tomorrow. Obviously we don't know for sure if it's going to spike, but I'm predicting it will. The fragile truce signed by the United States and Iran last month continued to unravel amid the latest round of fighting, with both sides trading targeted airstrikes in the region. The interim agreement was intended to reopen the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz and end the conflict, and that went out the window. Here we have Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei said the country has unforgettable lessons in store for the U.S. And I promise the Ayatollah that if he even tries, if he even dares to continue on, we are going to pound them even more than what we are pounding them now. Now that the American enemy seeks to ignite war and endure heavier costs, it should know that the Iranian nation and resistance front have unforgettable lessons in store for it. The Republic of Iran Broadcasting said in a message from Khamenei on X. Khamenei said the repeated U.S. attacks have shown that Trump's signature on the Memorandum of Understanding is utterly worthless and devoid of credibility. It's just laughable that they're trying to come out and, after they broke it last week and now they're trying to say that Trump broke it. It's laughable. The White House did not immediately respond to a CNBC request for comment on the remarks. So, total U.S. death toll rises to 16 killed in action. That's tragic. Obviously, one is way too much. The 2 additional U.S. military service members' fatalities in Jordan add to previously confirmed deaths of 14 other service members killed in action since the war began with U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran on February 28th. Trump in telephone interview with a News Nation reporter called the deaths of 2 service members very sad. It's a very sad thing. We hate to see it happen. It's in service to our country. He reiterated his pledge that the U.S. is never allowing Iran to have a nuclear weapon. They just can't. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth responded to the deaths on X. Godspeed heroes. Their sacrifice only stiffens our resolve. We send our deepest condolences as well here at Mogul Fellows. CENTCOM said earlier in the day the U.S. ended a 7th straight night of strikes in Iran as Kuwait and Bahrain reported attacks by Iranian projectiles and commercial shipping continued to face disruptions. CENTCOM continues to hold Iran accountable at the commander-in-chief's direction while fully enforcing a naval blockade against Iranian ports. So, yeah, guys, so we are really in this now, guys. We're in it even more than what we are. Obviously, the beginning of this war was really intense. We saw the market very volatile. And, as things started to settle and then this memorandum of understanding started happening, we saw the market really come back. We are, at the last CPI report, we also saw, inflation coming down. And it does not look like, if this continues and oil continues to spike, I could see inflation going back up, unfortunately, guys. And that is not good for the Federal Reserve and interest rates, not good for the midterms. So, and this is what Iran wants to do, guys. Iran wants to screw with our economy and screw with Trump and screw with the midterms and try to try and get rid of Trump, guys. Try to get rid of Trump. That's, I think, their number one, target is, President Trump. They want to kill him, and they also, want him out of office. They obviously don't, like America. They chant death to America all the time. And when I say Iran, guys, I say the IRGC. Obviously, the Iranian people, most of them, Persians, are very nice people. They don't like the IRGC. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's, pretty much the thoughts I have right now. We could continue on with this article. Struggle for the Strait of Hormuz, guys. Meanwhile, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps said it blocked 4 vessels as they attempted to move under U.S. protection through the strait. In a coordinated missile and drone operation, all 4 were halted and immobilized at sea. Iran's IRNA news agency quoted the IRGC Navy Command as saying in a post on X. Iran also appeared to continue its attacks on regional targets. Kuwait said its air defenses were responding to hostile drone threats. It is also said in Iran attacks on its power and water distillation station caused a fire but no casualties. What else? Kuwait is known to be overwhelmingly dependent on salination for drinking water, with also 90% of its arid nation's water demand satisfied through seawater desalination plants. So, guys, I mean, here we have, I think Trump says we're winning big in Iran. Obviously, you know, I don't know if, you know, we could definitely just end this tomorrow by just nuking them, but we obviously don't want to just nuke them. We could also do ground invasion. We could do ground invasion, end this tomorrow. Not very popular for the markets, both of those, nuking and ground invasion. We want to try to do this with just the air space and try to, you know, try to suffocate their economy. And so far, that's not really working right now. Obviously, we are, you know, in the middle of this. We're 7 nights in. I'm trying to destroy their whole economy and, you know, try to suffocate it. And they're still getting off shots here as they, you know, killed 2 of our service members today, shockingly. So you could read this and then jump over to Gemini. Despite the renewed attacks, Trump has insisted the war with Iran is going well, saying Thursday in a primetime address to the American public, "We are likewise winning big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly." That was obviously last Thursday, before this whole thing today. The U.S. president had threatened to strike Iran's bridges and power plants in the coming week if the country refused to return to negotiating table. So I really hope this happens. We need this to happen, guys. We need to strike their bridges and power plants. I think we already struck one major one that they tried to launch off drones into the Strait of Hormuz. I think we knocked that bridge out, and we got to knock out more, guys. We got to knock out more. We got to just continue to pound them and show our force. Here we go. There's a risk of this, but of course we were essentially a cold and occasionally hot war with Iran for decades. Okay, I think in some sense this is a misjudgment by the current administration, but it is also part of a pattern in the American approach to use of force, and we have enormous capability and enormous operational prowess, and we are hobbled by strategic mistakes. So that was by Ian Lesser, I guess his name is. We also have oil prices were sharply higher on Friday due to ongoing unrest in the Middle East. So that was yesterday. We obviously can see, you know, oil very much spike tomorrow, guys. You know, obviously uncertainty in the Middle East is going to cause oil to spike. And, you know, if oil spikes, obviously, you know, a lot of fear in the market, and people tend to sell stocks when the cost of a barrel goes up, guys. So let's jump over to Gemini here. So I asked, how is the current status of the war with Iran going to affect stocks on Monday? So Gemini came back and said the stock market on Monday is expected to open under downward pressure with the increased volatility as stock futures react to a severe weekend escalation in the U.S.-Iran war. So here it is. We just covered this over the weekend. Iran missile attack in Jordan results in first direct American military fatalities in over the weekend, Iran missiles in Jordan resulted in the first direct military since March, killing 2 U.S. troops. In response, the U.S. launched its 8th consecutive night of heavy retaliatory airstrikes. Currently, Iran targeting crucial regional oil and desalination infrastructure in Kuwait, and suspending its 60-day ceasefire commitment, has effectively declared the tentative peace deal dead. It is completely dead. And that is not a good sign, guys. Not a good sign for the market on Monday. So we need to prepare. So the collapse of the ceasefire and expansion of the conflict will trigger distinct movements across several sectors, guys. We talked about energy and oil. Expect a sharp spike. Crude oil prices, which have already flirted with the $90 per barrel due to the reinstatement of the U.S. naval blockade, are poised to surge further. We didn't talk about that. We also, renewed the blockade as well, guys. Energy producers and out-of-region oil and gas stocks will likely see significant gains, guys. We also have defense and aerospace. Shares of defense contractors are expected to rally on Monday, transition from a brief diplomatic window back to intensive ongoing missile and drone warfare guarantees sustained military outlays. Technology and high growth sectors, guys. So this is what we're really in, and it sucks because we have earnings coming up, guys. With earnings, obviously, are one of our biggest long-term position is Tesla, and we have it this coming Wednesday. Kind of sucks. The overall market's going to be pretty bearish on Monday. We'll see what happens next week with the war, but right now it kind of sucks because we have earnings really gearing up this coming week. But these areas will face the heaviest headwinds, while strong big tech earnings previously kept on Wall Street afloat. Renewed war fears raise systemic inflation risk. Higher oil prices threaten to push bond yields up, which directly compresses valuation multiples for interest rate sensitive tech stocks. Sucks. We are very bullish on AI. We like tech. We're a tech brand. We like investing in tech, and unfortunately, tech is going to see a hit on Monday. Travel and airlines, guys. Airline stocks are highly vulnerable. A combination of spiking aviational fuel costs and widespread air traffic disruptions or airspace closures across the Middle East will heavily weigh on profitability. So guys, if you're going to be traveling soon, I would book your ticket right now, because we are most likely going to see travel and airline costs go up, unfortunately, especially airlines, because when oil goes up, it means they need to pay more for oil, which means airline tickets go up as well. Safe haven assets, guys. Gold, the US dollar, and defensive fixed income assets are anticipated to capture a strong flight to safety bid as equity markets open in the red. So that is kind of what is what is most likely to happen on Monday, guys. 3 core major risk factors to watch, guys. So we have the Strait of Hormuz standoff. What is going to happen in the Strait of Hormuz? Obviously, we have the blockade. We did stop vessels from passing the other day. They did not listen to the United States, the U.S. Navy, and we had to stop them. We had to force them to stop. The Strait of Hormuz standoff, with the U.S. naval blockade tightly enforced and Iran actively striking commercial routes, any total shutdown or prolonged drop in shipping traffic risks embedding structural inflation into global supply chains. We also have the Federal Reserve positioning. The threat of sustained energy supply shocks complicates the Fed's path. Hotter energy inflation could box the central bank into a corner, making them less likely to lower interest rates. Makes sense. Weekend reports or geopolitical contagion. Weekend reports indicating potential Chinese and Russian technological support for Iran's advanced missile maneuvers could turn regional conflict into a broader superpower standoff, further rattling international markets, guys. So our thoughts, guys. Obviously, we want this war to be done. Once this war is completely concluded, we think the market and our economy will thrive. Obviously, Iran does not want that. Iran wants to punish us as much as possible, especially with midterms coming up that could hurt Donald Trump. They want to continue screwing with us, guys. Continue screwing with Donald Trump, and continuing to say one thing and then asking for another, and then acting on one thing, bombing something else, just launching off drones, saying something else. It's exhausting, guys. It's exhausting. And when they continue to screw with us, especially signing the memorandum of understanding and then completely ignoring that and bombing vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Obviously, they want to disrupt oil. Obviously, the Strait of Hormuz is a big part of the world global supply of oil. Goes through there. They want to disrupt that as much as possible to screw with our economy, screw with oil prices. Oil prices go up. That means inflation. That means higher, gas at, the pump for your car. Means higher, airline tickets. It means higher, prices in general. The, companies that use oil to be able to operate their business, obviously, they got to pay for, this oil that costs a lot of money. They obviously, need to raise prices to be able to cover that. So inflation will, if this continues to happen, guys, and we continue this until midterms, I could see inflation going back up, and I could see the Federal Reserve not cutting rates, and I could even see a rate hike, maybe two, if this continues to be a big problem, guys. We could see a couple hikes. That is obviously not going to be popular going into the midterms. American people are not going to like inflation. They obviously, inflation was a horrible thing, the previous years, and even in the past year. So I could see this really getting hairy. I could see, the market really taking a dump on Monday. But, we'll see what happens, guys. I really hope we could get this situated soon. I really hope our government and, President Donald Trump has a plan in place in case, because, midterms are coming up, guys. Midterms are coming up. Donald Trump needs, to get this situated before then. But yeah, guys, it's not looking too great right now, but hopefully we can get earnings. We could have a banger earnings. We could get, this Iran situation dealt with in the next month or two, and we could get the market and our economy ripping again, guys. If we could get this one thing dealt with, I think we could reach 8,000 S&P 500 by the end of the year, guys. So just need to get the Iran war situated, and we can see the market ripping again, guys. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Obviously, very sad news with the U.S. Service members killed today. My thoughts and prayers go out to those families, and I'm hoping that we could get the one missing. We could get them that soldier back into. We could get that soldier back, and we hope that we could get this war situated, and we could get the market under control, or the economy under control, so the market can rip, guys. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys want to be part of our Discord, that's where our public portfolio. I think our public portfolio is around $60,000 between a couple accounts. We got our Mogul 30 account where we invest in 30 stocks. We watch 50 a day, and we swing trade those, and we invest in we do a daily buy each day. If you want to see the daily alerts on that, it's in the Discord. We also have our Mogul Options account, and we also have our long-term account, guys. Long-term account. So if you guys want to be able to see the daily alerts on that, reports, we also dive into other asset classes as well. Everything is in the Discord. We also do our daily journal as well in that Discord. So if you guys want part of that Discord, go to mogulfellows.com, check out membership option over there to get a hold of that Discord. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit the outro.